Bulgaria, 1910. After the Russo-Turkish War and Bulgaria's subsequent liberation in 1878, it became clear that despite the fact that the predominantly agricultural and peasant population lacked the knowledge to build a nation-state from the ground up, the Bulgarian lion was eager to fight for his place under the sun. But that didn't come without challenges. Bulgarian politicians knew the Balkans were a turbulent and uneasy stage. However, they knew exactly what they had to do to come on top: modernize. A new constitution was adopted, the Turnovo Constitution, which was nothing more than an exact copy of the Belgians. Nonetheless, the new country in the European continent had perhaps the most liberal social code in the entire world. Parliamentarism, as well as key democratic principles, were adopted. Despite the fact that the conservative Bulgarians were used to Ottoman feudal rule, many people quickly got a hand of the new social order, becoming the first entrepreneurs, artists, and even international traders. However, modernization can be achieved only by copying a liberal constitution. Without education, Bulgaria is no different than its former overlord, the sick man of Europe. The government started importing highly educated foreign personnel in order to kickstart Bulgarian institutions. There was nothing, yet there was a need for everything. With these words, Ivan Mrkvichka, the famous Czech-born painter with a Bulgarian heart, who is credited for funding the National Academy of Fine Arts, described the state of the newly established kingdom. In his most famous painting, Ruchenica, James Boucher, a British journalist, was depicted folk dancing Ruchenica and not his native Irish dances. Finally, we have to talk about Bulgaria's monarch, Ferdinand the First. Ferdinand Maximilian Karl Leopold Maria was probably the best thing that could happen to the new kingdom. He came from the noble Germanic family of Saxe-Coburg and Gotha. The monarchist family was a huge dynasty created by Queen Victoria to ensure peace in Europe. Here we can see all of Ferdinand's cousins in one picture. Nicholas of Russia, Wilhelm of Germany, Alfonso of Spain, Gustav V of Sweden, George I of Greece, Manuel II of Portugal, Frederick VIII of Denmark, and Edward VIII of the United Kingdom. His many relations with other European monarchs gave Ferdinand an edge over the other Balkan leaders, and he guided Bulgaria's foreign policy successfully and effectively. The extravagant and ambitious bisexual prince began his work by creating a capital city admired by all. Sofia was not only the intellectual and artistic center of the new kingdom, but a sandbox. The fact that Sofia started out as a small village meant architects and urban planners were free to design the most modern capital in Europe. Evident for that are not only the buildings and statues, but the general outline of the city. Today, even after the construction of residential areas during the communist period, Sofia is still 35% park area. This is because the city was originally designed as a capital garden. In 1908, the ambitious Prince Ferdinand the First used the opportunity to rule almost like an absolute monarch. The political life in Bulgaria was not fully developed, so he used this opportunity, together with the then Prime Minister Alexander Malinov, to unite the Principality of Eastern Rumelia and declare Bulgaria a fully independent country. From that point on, Ferdinand wasn't a prince, but a knyaz. Fearing a powerful Bulgaria, our neighbors, the Serbs, attacked us right after gaining independence to ensure dominance in the Balkans. Despite the wicked attack, the Bulgarian soldiers proved themselves capable of defending their homeland even in surprise attacks. The heroic deed of our soldiers has been forever immortalized by the great Bulgarian poet Ivan Vazov. But now is no time for revanchism and petty fighting between the Christian states in the Balkans. The Ottoman Empire, our dushmans, are weak, and only through Balkan cooperation are we going to be able to kick the invaders out of the old continent. And we must hurry up before the Muslims get too powerful. First, we need to look at our industry. The armament complex in Kazanluk serves greatly to our country, providing us with domestic production of guns for our army. But guns are not enough. We need support equipment and artillery. This is a task too big for our military complex in Kazanluk, so we need to expand it. But before we do that, we must fully industrialize. We will begin industrialization by constructing civilian factories under the guidance of Mikhail Majurov, a prominent politician. Since the large influx of immigrants and intellectuals to Sofia, the western parts of our country have gone massive industrialization. We must expand our industry to the eastern parts of our country. We are a militarized society, so it makes sense that the size of our divisions is huge. This, however, is not very efficient in modern warfare, so we must reduce the size of our infantry units while keeping firepower high through artillery. In our army headquarters, we will hire Danil Nikolaev, an old guard whose years in the military will allow us to change our infantry templates. We will also hire Nikolai Ivanov, an infantry specialist, who will boost the performance of our army through better planning. As for research, we will focus simultaneously on industrial development and researching new support weapons for our army. In terms of organization, we will prepare our army on the front with the Ottomans. It is General Vladimir Vazov who will lead the army. And for the general in the high command, we will choose Ivan Fichev. Sadly, this episode is getting very long, so the continuation of the First Balkan War will be available in the next episode. Thank you for watching.